Ding. Oh! Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the Flying Can Ranch down here at Cedar Creek Lake, Texas. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you're all with family. I hope you're all being safe. And, I'm not going to go into all that. I was going to say just forget the 10 count thing that I've been hearing about. At any rate, I got a couple of exciting things I want to do this holiday season, or this weekend, I should say. And we're going to start off with this right here. And we're going to do some talking about this right here, Bink. This is the Diana Trail Scout in 22 caliber. So we're going to wrap this up really quick here as it specs. It is a 22 caliber. It does have a rifle barrel. They say it pops out about 560 feet per second. Overall length is 38.90. The overall weight is 5.10, and the barrel is right at 19 inches. It does come with a, we'll pop this out. I haven't even tried to put the clip in this yet, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let me dig around in my pocket. I got a couple items that I want to show you as we move along. Okay, I guess that's everything. This does come with a single shot loading tray that will just slide out from right here. And I haven't really experimented yet on how to make this clip go in here, but I'll bet I'll figure it out pretty quick. There's a gizmo to it somewhere. I haven't even tried to put it in yet. I haven't tried to load it. I haven't tried to do anything like that. We're gonna, I got a pretty good idea how this works. And I think that clip is probably gonna slide in something like, I'm not sure yet. Haven't played with it, but we're gonna talk about that if we get to the shooting review. And there's a reason I'm saying if. So we're gonna cover the rest of the specs on this gun. Oh, I'll just slap all that back together later. All right, so it's a pretty solid stock. Now this gun is sort of thin across here. It's not real beefy. It does have some real good stippling right along there, right up in here on both sides. As we stated before, it's a little bolt action right here. That will punk up there and drop down. And a really weird thing about this gun in itself is we're going to take this piece off. We're going to talk about this in great detail. So basically what you're going to do is take this piece off right up here on the end. I got it screwed down in there pretty far. And get that off. This thing actually holds 3 CO2s in it. So you're going to put the, I think I got one right here. Yeah. You're going to kind of put this one, well, that was a really bad example, wasn't it? This one is going to go in this way, down the tube. The next one will go in this way, down the tube. And then the last one, you have a little, I'm trying to remember which pocket I stuck it in now that I'm rolling around here. Where you at here, you piece of garbage? Oh, maybe I didn't grab it. Well, I really came to class unprepared today. I thought I had this with me. There's a little piece that drops down in here. If you'll give me just a second, I could have swore that I put that in my pocket. We'll get these CO2s out and see if I can, I guess I didn't pick it up. Good God. Oh, it's right here. This piece, it doesn't matter which way. One's the way is a little deeper than the other. And that should just, because you put your 2 CO2s in, then you drop this in, and then you drop the other CO2 in nose first. Now, that all being said, we're going to get some stuff out of my way. We're going to set this gun down, and we're going to talk about this. This is the piece that you screwed on top of the CO2. You're supposed to fold that down. This little nub, you just push it in until it clicks. Once you screw it in as tight as you can without really destroying it, you're going to flip this up, and that's going to push that out onto their CO2. Now, the problem I had was, when I got this out of the box this morning, this whole end piece just fell off. A little ball bearing went rolling across the bed. A spacer sleeve fell out. And it was, I'm like, what? I mean, like, really, what? And I tried to put it together. The spacer sleeve kept falling out. And I got to looking. I thought, well, a little bolt will go in right here. It's hard to see, but there's 4 little screws around this edge. And I got the little bolt through, and it doesn't have any threading. And I finally had to go back to the box and find the little nut that goes on the other end. And you can tell that I didn't get that one screw right there. You don't want to tighten these all the way, or this won't spin freely, and has to spin freely for you to jack it into the gun, so to speak. And because this spins independently of this. I'm assuming that's really because when I got out of the box, that's the way it worked. But I'm starting to wonder if that's really the way it's supposed to work, because everything fell apart. And I was not very happy about that. I did figure out how to get it all back together, and it was kind of a weird deal, but I'm not used to that kind of a, brand new out of the box, and this whole thing just fell apart. The other thing I'm curious about is this gun. It comes with a whole bag of various O-rings. And the instruction manual really doesn't say anything about putting O-rings on your spacer piece, so I'm going to try to load this without it. There is an O-ring around this piece, and as I took this apart, there's a couple little O-rings on the shaft of this. But the very fact that this was just literally fell apart in my hands right out of the box, that just kind of set the course off right off the top. So I really don't know if I have it together right. I don't know if it's going to shoot. I don't know if it's going to just bleed out all the CO2s. I really, at this point in time, have no clue as to what's going to happen. So I'm going to put my little loading tray back in there. There we go. Slap the bolt back up. Back to here, we're going to look underneath. That little silver dot right there. You just push that out pretty positive. That's your safety. When you see a little red end, you're ready to fire. You slap it back to your right, and now you're back on safe. So, later on today, we're booming about maybe 58 degrees here in the great state of Texas. I want to try to load up some CO2s, and we're going to see if it leaks. We're going to see if it shoots. We're going to see what it does, and then I'll decide whether I want to put a scope on this, because I did buy a scope for it. And I have another gun I want to review this weekend. We're going to really do some playing around, so I might get them both done today. I'm really focused on this one. It's supposed to get up to 70s where the CO2 will work good if I can get them to work. So like I said, this little piece, let me put that back in before I lose it. Right here was sort of the bane of it. Just fell apart right there in the box. Yeah, a little bit of creative mind. You'll figure out how it works. You really will. How to put it back together if it does happen. Personally, I'm just not real happy with what went on this morning. Oh, I can kind of turn that with my finger and get a little better. I might get a hold of Dana, or I believe I got this from Pyramid Air. If this isn't really where I want to be, I'm going to ship the whole thing back. Just say, look, this thing fell apart right here in the box, or is there any way we can get a replacement for this from Dyna, and then find out what all these various O-rings are for, because it's definitely not explained in the manual whatsoever. So, going back to the gun itself, It's a very light gun. If you're not into heavy guns, it is light. It's very thin. I'm used to having something a little beefier up here in the front of my hand, and I just thought I'd get it, see what we could do with it. I do believe that does have an adjustable trigger. Now, a good piece of advice that I saw on a video, by the way, while we're here, we're going to kind of line this up this way. When you're putting this back on right here, and you're screwing it back into place, and you're trying to get it tight, I would really advise, as another video showed me, not to pinch your hands around this barrel. Really try to keep your hands centered down the bottom, because you got a lot of space. They should have really put this piece further up. You know, it looks to me like it would be very easy to kind of bend your barrel, maybe warp it here. So really focus on when you're putting those CO2s in, you know, grab it from the bottom. Don't put your hand around it like this and hold it while you're trying to get your CO2 in. Because once you start pinching, I think that gentleman's right. I think it'd be easy to bend the barrel. So it does have fully adjustable sights. Unfortunately, they're not really fiber optic in any way. They're pretty plain Jane. If I was to leave the scope off, I'd probably have to white dot this tip on the end. But there it is in its entirety. It's a Dyna Trail Scout. Like I said, it's really been sort of a kind of a bummer right out of the box, my opinion. That didn't impress me one bit, and I'm still a little confused about how this clip goes in. But I'll put a mind to it, and we'll figure it out as we move along. Because when I do the shooting video, I'm going to try to use this clip, but it really does look like it goes in like another one I've got. I just haven't really kind of, that's very interesting. I just really haven't wrapped my mind around it. Like I said, I got busy this morning trying to rebuild that other piece, and so I didn't have time to play with the clip in any way, fashion, or form. You know, I'm not real big about these anyway, but we'll try it out and see what happens. So I just want to let you know what I ran into with this end piece right here. Very disappointing. I'm not sure if we're ever going to make it to a shooting video, because I might put some CO2s in here, and what they tell you to do is what I failed to tell you was that you got this piece out, and I'm going to show you how to do this real quick, and you're going to fold this down, and this piece is out. If I can remember this correctly, you push this in, clicks. Then when you put this all back together, and I'm not going to get it real tight or anything, we'll just get it up there enough to show you. Now this will be hanging like this. Supposedly you're supposed to flip this up. That should lock in place and push all your CO2s together. So you want to get this there as tight as you can get it, and then flip this up, and that should puncture all 3 CO2s. So we're fixing to find out if that really does happen, and I'll play with it. If it works, I might go ahead and put the scope on it. We'll do something with it on the shooting video. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not real impressed with this CO2 puncturing device. The fact that it fell apart on me right out of the box, and the little ball bearing went someplace, and the little sleeve went someplace, and then I had to look around and back in the box and find the little nut that goes on the end of that bolt. It was a very disappointing thing. I did figure out how to put it back together. It's working like it's supposed to work as now, but we're going to see. Again, I have no idea what all this is for. I'm assuming this looks like the big the O-ring looks like it might go around the end of that. These other O-rings, I'm not really sure. Again, not explained in the manual that I can see. I'll look to it in more detail. Just want to do a little quick review. Again, I want you all to have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll play with this a little bit longer. I'll let you know how it turns out. And But have a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your families. I've got a turkey in the oven right now. Had it kind of slow cooking. We're going to work on some other things. We're going to see what we can come up with. It's just the two of us anyway. And that's the way we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. We'll do a follow-up. Thanks for watching.